The dude is DMV Unfiltered here, and I'm here with a great guy, a great guy. He goes by the name Jerome Williams, aka the Junkyard Dog. What it do? What it do? What it do?
Come on.
So this would be like my first interview podcast, if you say so.
Charles, you're a young vet, though. Don't even worry about it. Don't sweat.
Hey,
This is DMV Unfiltered.
hey, that's what
Come
I
on,
like
you know
to.
how we get down.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you repping that Georgetown shirt right there. You went to Georgetown, didn't you? Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Me and my man AI, roommates.
Hey,
Come
y'all
on.
was roommates.
Come on, man. Came in the same and left the same year. 1996, last two first round draft picks under the legendary Hall of Famer Coach John Thompson Jr. There you go. That's
I didn't.
history right off the bat.
Hey, hey, I'm learning something right now. I didn't even know y'all were roommates. I know y'all was drafted in the same draft class. I didn't know y'all was roommates. Speaking of y'all being roommates, man, that draft class, 1996 draft class, had a lot of ballers. You had Kobe Bryant, you had Steve Nash, you had guys like who else is in
Ray
there?
Allen,
Ray Allen. Hey, he's
Defensive Player of the Year Hall of Famer Ben Wallace. Didn't even get
you
drafted. Come on, man.
undrafted,
That's
undrafted, undrafted,
how
undrafted.
bad we were.
So I understand you're from the DMV area. You grew up in DC. What was you a Wizards fan growing up?
No, no, I wasn't. I was a Washington Bullets fan growing up
Okay,
because when I
okay,
was
my
growing
bad,
up,
my
we
bad.
wasn't called the Wizards. We were the Bullets, baby. We were doing it. That's it.
Okay, 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 okay. How you feel about the Wizards? Well, yeah, the Wizards now.
You
The
know,
young
I
team.
do. I do think they got a nice young nucleus. You got SARS, who was the number one draft pick. You got Trent Johnson,
Hey,
that young
I
fella
don't know.
right
I like Trey.
there.
I like Trey.
I'm like, yo, and then you got George, so it's like they got some good pieces, but look, it's can they wait? Can they let that gel, let that unit start to develop? Because technically they have the makings of a young OKC, technically.
I've
But
been
if but
saying that. Saying it.
if you get to rushing, you get to moving pieces and thinking you're doing something, trying to do too much, like you can mess that whole thing up. Cause I
Yeah,
can tell you right now,
you got it. You got
them
it.
like I've watched them and I'm like, yo, okay, now they losing, but they losing different.
Hey, hey,
They
right,
losing
right,
different. So
right.
you just keep getting pieces like those, older vets who are on sort of their tail end, letting young guys play, but then getting some good guys like the CJ McCullers who are gonna be in the locker room, gonna teach the guys the right way to play. Stuff like that goes a long way. Bagley is a good, serviceable forward, right? He almost played for me when I was coaching in the West Coast for Finley Prep.
For real?
So when I was coaching in Finley Prep, I had Bagley and check this out, DeAndre Ayton were coming in the same year.
Wow.
Yes. And this is coming off the back of me coaching Kelly Oubre and Dylan Brooks. Rashard Vaughn, also first round draft pick into the league. I coached all of them in high school. And like our next class coming in was DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley. So it's like, yeah, so to see what he's doing now, shout out to him, doing a great job, like I said, being a very solid forward in the NBA.
Right. So speaking of you having all these connections, if you wasn't playing basketball, if you wasn't the guy that you were, what do you think you would be at? Like,
Wow. Well, coming out of Georgetown, believe it or not, I already had a job as a tax clerk downtown for a prestigious accounting firm called Arthur Anderson. As soon as I graduated, I had a nice paying job set up. So I'm sure it would be somewhere in the finance. It would
someone
be
to find
somewhere in
out.
finance because I was down that lane and moving in that direction. That's probably why I teach a lot of financial literacy.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. I just know that you wrote books and stuff like that. I didn't even know that was into some of your
There
things.
you go. That's a good time
Uh
to show
oh.
the
Uh
book
oh.
right there.
Here we
Everybody is
go.
popping off the shelf right now. Role player, pick up your copy. It's got, you know, some legendary people on the back. Allen Iverson, Dr. J, Iceman, George Gervin, the late, great Lenny Wilkins all gave me great quotes for the book and shout outs. And not to mention the league commissioner himself, Adam Silver. So there it is. You know, you see it here first on DMV Unfiltered. Get your copy. You know, Amazon, everybody got it. Just go get it because it's popping off the shelf. And that's definite read you want to have your hands on.
Yeah, y'all go get that. Y'all go get that. But that goes to my question right there. Speaking of Allen Iverson, you mentioned that y'all were roommates. Is there any funny moments or just any funny time that you had with Allen Iverson on or off the court?
Always some funny times. Bubba Chuck, shout out to him, man. Hall of Famer. Great teammate, man. One of the things that he used to be known for that was just hilarious. He would draw caricatures on the chalkboard like pre-game, like literally go up and draw a cartoon character of myself. The one that just gets me laughing all the time is he drew one of Jahadi White. He was a Washington Wizards, right? So Jahadi White, he drew a caricature of him with a big belly, with really small, like too small, number 55 jersey on, Georgetown jersey. Drew all that with his belly out, and he was holding a drumstick in his hand and a basketball twirling on his finger in the other hand. And I mean, he had everybody rolling. It was just so funny. And he do things like that. Like he drew one with one of my teammates, Boubacar Al was from Africa. So he ripped up his jersey, drew a caricature, had a ripped up Georgetown jersey like he was from Africa, like he had a jersey like from the Flintstones, and he was
Uh,
holding a spear in his hand. Bro, he
nah.
had nothing but jokes with the caricatures, man, and just showing his talent. Like he could literally, draw cartoon characters, and it was just funny. So that's my Allen Iverson little download right there.
So you shared, we mentioned early on, you shared the draft space with guys like Steve Nash and Kobe. Do you have any stories, like any Kobe stories or just anything like that? Any stories like
Okay,
that?
I got a story for you. I got a story for you for the 1996 draft was crazy draft number one. I went and tried out for about 20, I think 22 or 24 teams in the league. Detroit Pistons was not one of them. I got drafted to Detroit. But one of the teams that I tried out for or interviewed with was the Lakers. The Lakers had like the 22nd pick, something like that, 23rd, somewhere in there. And when I tried out, when I went to them, worked out, they're like, "Yo, your workout's phenomenal." They're like, "We definitely don't think you're gonna be around at the 23rd pick or whatever, 23rd, 24th pick. But if you are, we're gonna get you." And I was like, "Well, all right, good." But I wasn't really technically supposed to be there. I was supposed to be picked a lot sooner, which I wasn't because of the draft being crazy and all the underclassmen coming in. I slipped in the draft. So I get to that pick, and it's the Lakers, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh man, they told me they were gonna pick me." I'm kind of like nudging my mom and dad, like, "Yeah, I think this is probably gonna be it right here."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my agent's phone ain't ringing and different things. So he's like, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, anything? No, they don't know." Meanwhile, I don't end up getting picked, but here's the backstory. Like a few
Backstory.
years later, they tell me what happened. So
All
they
right.
said in the war room, in the think tank with the general manager and everybody else, they're in there and they're having basically a huge argument about who they should pick. They had promised Derek Fisher they were going to pick him at that pick. They then said, well, Jerome Williams is still available, who is the best player in the draft, like at this time. So they're like, but we promised to pick to Derek Fisher. So they just battling back and forth. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking, and they're like, yo, we got to come up with a decision.
Right.
They said, well, since we're at 50-50 split, we got to do our number one thing that we do in these situations, call Dr. Buss. They called Dr. Buss on the phone, team owner of the Lakers. They
Okay.
said, Dr. Buss, need you to break this tie for us. He said, okay, tell me who we got. He said, we got Jerome Williams from Georgetown, and we got Derek Fisher from Little Rock. Which one do you want? He said, okay, hold on, give me a second. So he goes into his pocket, pulls out a quarter, and says, heads is Jerome Williams, tails is Derek Fisher. Flips the coin. It's like 30 seconds left in the draft, like real time. They got to give their pick to Commissioner David Stern. It drops down. Tails is Derek Fisher. They call it in. David Stern picked Derek Fisher, and that's a 1996 story. So to all you kids out there, who do the work, put the work in, and different things, a lot of it has to do with just being in the right place at the right time, and just know, just because you don't get picked doesn't mean you're not worthy, or you're not able, because these decisions are very close. They are very tough for a lot of GMs to make and organizations to make, because they literally looking at a draft board of 20 guys, and they're choosing between 20 people that they could change their life. And if they don't pick them, maybe another team will, maybe another team won't. But I was at least happy to hear that story later on, so I can share it with other young people and young families to just know, like, you got to put that work in. Like, the work is going to be what it's going to be, but sometimes, you might not go to the team, you were expected to go to. Later on down the road, the Lakers hit me up and tried to sign me as a free agent. So it all comes full circle.
Speaking of that, because it's a lot of people might watch this and be like, "How does it work in free agency? Like, do you just like do they just call your phone and just like you come to the team? Speak a little bit more how that works."
Well, I tell you how that one worked. I tell you how that one worked. I was a surprise free agent because the New York Knicks had just paid me my full salary because of the Allen Houston rule. So I'm out here. I'm not officially on the market because I told my agent I was going to retire. I didn't really, I was very interested in being with my family and trying to help them reach their dreams, but I was still young. So Kobe Bryant called his general manager and said, "Yo, Jerome Williams Junkyard's available. Somebody I want to play with." Boom. That's all needs to be said.
Hey,
that call came in. It was like, boom. They called me. Hey, look, da 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 da. This is the money we're gonna give you. Blah blah blah. And I appreciated Kobe in that, but for me, I had kind of made my decision. But they went on to win 2 championships after that. So, I was obviously going to be a nice, intricate piece of that puzzle, and I'm glad they went on to win. But those are opportunities that, when you're a good player, a good team guy, again, this is a good time. If you know how to play a role, you're going to get a lot of offers.
Yes, sir. Hey,
if you know how to be in the right spot at the right time, smile, don't have no problems or issues with people, man, you get blessings all day. It's all about, doing what you do.
Speaking of right place, right time, I learned the fact when I was doing my research on you today that you, one time in the league, you led the league in charges. You led the league in charges. Am I right?
Man, hey, look, that's a stat I hadn't even heard. But guess what? I tell you this, how that started. Let me give you the story, your backdrop on that.
Okay, let me know.
When I was with the Pistons, right? We were with the Pistons. Doug Collins, he used to take money out of his own pocket, so his salary, and said anybody that gets a charge, it's $250 cash. Now, look, you guys get paid millions of dollars. Yeah. I get it. That's right. We don't like $250. Not any money really, but it's a competitive thing. He got into our competitive psyche, right? And like basically, you take charge after the game. He's just peeling off a few hundreds for you, and that becomes locker room, mystique and locker room energy. See one of your teammates get a few bucks after the game, and then he's able to, do whatever he's gonna do with it, whatever. So as a rookie who's not getting much playing time, regardless,
Right.
I got to get out there any way I can.
Yeah, you got.
So taking charges became like, oh, that gets you A, respect from your teammates, B, giving up your body for the team, and C, you got to be on point with the scouting reports and everything and know where to be at the right time to be able to take that opportunity. So Grant Hill and Michael Curry, they were like charge maniacs. They run full speed, come down there, boom, right, fall back. And like they had the whole team wired because like you see Grant Hill, who's a franchise player, getting $1,500 at the games. He's taking charges. I was like, all right, wait till I get in there, and that's what really started me learning the intricate details of like just taking charges, and then you can bait them. You learn how to bait people. I mean, they ain't have flopping back then. You taking a charge on Karl Malone 280. A ton of bricks and mortar. You definitely putting your life on the line. That ain't something that you just like, oh, I'm gonna go flop. Nah, brother. That come with an elbow, forearm, power to the chest, maybe knock your teeth out, unconscious. Yeah. Sean Kemp coming down the lane. Man, wait a minute. What you about to do? Take a charge? Okay. Hack underneath of there, doing his drop steps. Stop it. Oh yeah, you got to be very strategic. But I'm glad you got to send me what year that was, so I can.
I got you. So speaking of Shaq and players like that, who was the hardest person you had to guard in the NBA?
All right, man. Look, I've guarded everybody pretty much. Kobe, Shaq, Jordan, everybody. But there's one guy you just can't guard.
Right.
You just can't guard, and that's this. And it comes with a lot of mystique, not just can I stop this guy? Can I not stop this guy? Every team in the league, you get a scouting report, and they go over what this guy's strengths are and what their weaknesses are. With Michael Jordan, there was literally like the weakness list was like it was very little weakness. There was next to nothing. And when you say the hardest person to guard, no, I did not guard him per se for 48 minutes, but for the moments I did, it's like, what do you do? He can jump you. He can fade. He can footwork you to death. I mean, he can do it all. So, I shout out to a lot of great players that I guarded in the league, but there was none greater than number 23. And I guarded LeBron.
I was just about to get on that.
Wade. I mean, let's go. Let come on for all you young people. Oh, he was guarding them old men. No. I guarded young LeBron.
How was it like guarding LeBron?
Carmelo, I guarded them young guys too. So, with all due respect.
How was it like guarding LeBron? And would you say that like I'm gonna just lay it on the floor like this? Do you think Jordan is better than LeBron?
Simple. Yeah, I mean, they're two people just have to understand. They're two totally different players. When we say Michael Jordan is better, it's because of when you look at the two players as they are and their body of work and what it shows. Michael Jordan was Defensive Player of the Year twice. League MVP, everything LeBron is, plus championships. And he never lost in the Olympics. Like, if you're going to go the whole body, let's do the whole body of work.
Some people might say that, it's a team sport, so.
Yeah, you can get into all that. But what you are really judged on, because there's been a lot of great players who have lost.
You're right.
Who have not won. So when you start elevating LeBron because he has won, and we have to respect the fact that he has, then you also have to look at what this other person was doing while winning and then stepped away from the game for 2 years. Like, if he would have played them other two, like, what are we even talking about right now?
But he
he plays another 2 years in his prime. Like, the numbers alone, like you're, I mean, that's something right there.
I mean,
Before you
yeah.
even get into any awards he might have got, if he would have won the championship, like, because that, he's still young.
So that goes into my question with this. Who is, I wouldn't even say favorite because I don't even like the word favorites. Who is in your opinion, the best teammate to ever play with?
Yeah, that's tough. Played with I mean, Hall of Famers. I mean, I
Mm.
played with Akeem Olajuwon,
Mm.
Scottie Pippen, Joe Dumars, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, like Allen Houston. I mean, not my list of guys I played with is pretty deep. Um,
But if you
but
had
I,
to choose one,
yeah, but as like in choosing one, I really think the era that I was in, Vince Carter probably was the best because he was able to elevate my career to the second round of the playoffs, which Grant Hill didn't, Stephon Marbury couldn't, all those other guys couldn't do. So I really have to just look at it from that standpoint. Now, like I said, I played with some great players.
players.
So, but when you say who, and to his credit, Vince Carter's a Hall of Famer. So so you got to like look at that how you gonna look at it. But this man played like 17, 18 years and was still doing it.
Was
and you know, so
so. Another question just about like the NBA draft because I was watching a video about how Cooper Flag and them they were like going into like rooms and stuff like that, talking to like the media, different teams, stuff like that. How was it like for you going into like different rooms? Like how did it make you feel? Like dang, I'm here. Like just elaborate a little bit more on that.
okay. So the bottom of the the backstory to my whole NBA draft was during that time there was these combines, and the combine I was invited to was the Desert Classic, which was for all incoming college seniors, right? To basically go up against the best. All the All Americans are invited, only the top picks, and this is basically your first round draft picks who are on deck. I get there, Steve Nash is on my team. My head coach was John Lucas, legend, Hall of Famer, right? He tells me in the huddle, JYD, you played for Georgetown. You were point guard for John Thompson, 6'9". Look, I want you to show all your game. No handcuffs. Do what you do. I want to see DC. I want to see the DMV because remember, Lucas went to Maryland. So I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "You want to see the bag?" He's like, "Show us the bag."
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say.
Woo! Okay, let's go. So I showed him the bag, and I was the MVP of the Desert Classic. So that's where my life kind of changed a little bit because, before I was doing a lot of passing, um, but now I'm shooting, taking gigs off the dribble, and all these All Americans that had their show at their colleges. Now, like, dang, we didn't know he had it like that. Yeah, I did what? What did I do at Georgetown? Bah,
Played your role. Played your role.
there you go. I just played my role. So
Yeah,
when you tell me
yeah.
my role is expanded, I can show you what I can do. So, anyways, I make that, and then I get invited to the green room um, on draft day because multiple teams said they were going to pick me in the lottery. So that's how I even got there. Now, when I slip and end up going number 26, I'm last. I'm the last one there. All the other tables are empty. They're picking guys who aren't even at the draft. I'm sitting here looking around like, what have I done? But I didn't do nothing. I was falling victim to the coin flips and endless promises that weren't made to me. So, thank God, Detroit, shout out to Grant Hill, who put a call in, said, look, I played against Jerome Williams in the DMV, vouch for this kid. We need to pick him with our first round draft pick. So the GM, Doug Collins, coach and GM made it audible, and whoever they promised, they 86 that and picked me. So I still had to go through all the rooms. There was some people packing up their stuff. They were like, "Oh, we got enough. Oh, let me get my stuff back out." Hey, look, it's a blessing, man. You gotta know how highly favored and highly blessed you are if you get drafted into the NBA, especially in the first round.
Yeah.
And in any other draft, I would have been a lottery. It was 1996. So again, I'm just like, thank you, Lord.
Yep, yep. So you spoke on a lot of about your role player, about your book about being a role player. So in the NBA, in the NBA now, do you think there's a lot of guys that's playing that role like how you were playing that role back in the day? And if they are, just name them.
Well, there are guys that are playing a role. Um, the first one that comes to mind is Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond, you know his role.
Right.
You know what he's out there trying to do.
Right.
And every night when I look at role players, old school, he's one of those guys that really sticks out because he doesn't, when he was elevated after winning a championship, his role on the court never got
Changed.
altered or changed. He always still stayed true to that role, even though he elevated, he got paid more, all those things. The only thing I wish he would do is stop getting in so much trouble and letting other distractions take away from his game because he's got a lot of game. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer.
You think
Best
about all
believe it. Best believe it. Yes. The only problem is, the ejections, the technical fouls, stuff like that, will actually prolong it. It might prolong it a little bit. You look at guys like Rasheed Wallace. He should definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
right.
Definitely. But because a lot of film has him getting technical fouls, people forget how great he was. That dude was a beast. He was a beast. And he was a silent assassin and a great teammate. But nobody talks about that. Nobody
Right.
talks about that. They talk
Right.
about his head, technical fouls was a head case, this and that. Like, no, he a lot of what he was saying was the truth. His delivery was what was getting him in trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I look at guys like, Draymond, and there's others out there that are also doing a good job playing a role on the team. I just say like that's the one thing that is, a little different these days because most roles are so expanded because of the offenses. Offenses are found faster and more spread out, more guys touching the ball, so you get to do more. So the roles have kind of like in terms of intrinsic specificity, it's kind of gone away.
I see your hat. It says "We the North." When you look
Yeah.
at on TikTok, a lot of Raptors fans they talk highly of you. So just talking more about like the Raptors. Like, how was it like? Because Toronto, that's a whole different country. So how was it like having your family? And I don't know where your family was located. Just say they were located in the DMV area, right? How was it like being located in the DMV area, going to different state to state because you play for different teams like the Pistons, I can't.
Chicago, New York.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You understand it? How's it like going from state to state, then going to another country, another country? Because that's not easy to do. That's just not easy to go to another country and just live there. So how was it like just transitioning like that?
Okay, so again, everything happens for a reason. I'm at Georgetown University,
Okay,
and on the schedule, all we see is we're playing Memphis on national television. So we don't, as a player, you don't look in the other print next to it oh, the game will take place in Toronto. So right before we're like on our way to the airport, and the coach, before we go, I think they had already asked us for passports and everything else. But we're like, hey, where are we going? We're going to Memphis to play Memphis. They said, no, we're playing them in Toronto, in Canada. And I remember everybody's like, oh man, it's about to be a long flight. And man, this is, golly, what we, all the way, it's going to be cold up there in Canada, this, that, and the third. Come to find out, it's a 45-minute flight, number one. So we were all like, how
Yeah,
is
how
Canada,
work?
how is
Yeah.
Canada 45-minute flight from DC? What? So we confused, right? So now we're like, oh, so this is close, right? Yeah, it's right above Detroit. So like, just it's like flying. It's closer to Toronto than it is to Cleveland. Like, so you start doing the math, you're like, oh snap! I didn't even look at it that way. So, anyways, we're in Toronto now. A whole bunch of young, me, Allen Iverson. What's the first thing we gonna do? Hitting the street.
Yup, party.
We out there. We ain't partying, but we
You
gonna
ain't
go to
party?
Popeye's Chicken. We
Okay, my
gonna,
bad.
we did, that was our party. Yeah. So we on Young Street, and we're like, man, this vibe is like, DC. Like they're downtown is very familiar. Like just different stores. So then we get into Toronto in the gym, and it's like 90% Georgetown fans in there.
For
So we like, hold up,
real?
we good.
Oh, yeah.
we end up like game going to overtime. We end up winning. And they had Lorenzen, right? They had like couple NBA prospects. So, and that was right after Penny Hardaway had gotten drafted. So they had a team, and I mean, it was made for television game. But what it did for me was it put Toronto as, well, this place is with us. With Georgetown, they're with like, they it's a nice city. So when I got traded to Toronto, I didn't have the same reaction or gut feeling like, oh, I'm going to Canada. Oh man, what are we doing? It was like, oh nah, we played and represented in college, and so I had something to tap into that was real for me and was on my hard drive about Canada. So my wife, my kid, we all moved to Canada together. And like two of my daughters were born in Canada. To this day, they got dual citizenship. They can get jobs in the United States and Canada. Got their Canadian passports. And in times like these,
Need it.
sometimes you might need to be able
Yeah,
to,
you not
to
wrong.
make a switch. So, yeah, you see it. We the North.
Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know. Yeah, man. So just, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing a little bit like, cause I couldn't really have time to do a lot of research on you, but I was doing a little bit of research on you. You seem like a hustle player, like a very like a hustle player. So like, what's some advice you would give? Not to me, of course, because I don't play basketball no more. But like, say up and coming players who just wanna make it to the league. What's some advice you would give them?
Okay, every player that wants to make the league, I'm gonna give you the cheat code, the
Okay.
junkyard dog cheat code. Let's
Uh
let's
oh.
let's go flash it real quick.
Yo, role player, there you go, role player.
There you go. There you go. Hey, look, this is what you got to understand, young player, young fellas. On any scouting report, and I have my GM certification for scouting. What that means is I took a course and got certified in NBA scouting.
Do
And
that.
yes, you can. Right? That's how these guys get these multi-million-dollar deals and contracts to become GMs of teams. You have to do your scouting. You have to know the process, right? One of the major components to scouting is, the various skill sets, the various things that you look at. But the two major components, I'll give you the one that most players overlook. You call it hustle. In NBA terms, it's called motor.
Motor.
So you either have three categories: high motor, mid motor, or low motor. All three can get drafted. All three. I was a high motor. That means, and you said, hey, you're a hustler. No. In money terms, I was at here. I was there. I was the Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman, like Ron Artest, high motor. Ben Wallace's, we don't get tired. We go 100 all the time, and you never have to worry about us. That's what a high motor does. Mid motor, pretty darn good. that dude is moving, right? Low motor, he got a lot of talent that allows his motor to not be as high. This guy might not shoot like this guy, but this guy gonna cover up a lot of mistakes that this guy gonna cover.
Right.
So that's one of the things that role players and young players should really look at in terms of if they really want to make a difference. They say it all the time, man. They're looking for the guys that run the floor, the guys that don't get tired, the guys that play hard. I mean, I know it's a facade, you hear it all the time, but in NBA circles, that's what gets you drafted. Cooper Flag, number 1 pick, high motor. Look at any scouting report. What do they say? High motor. His motor is what got him drafted. Because there were some other players that might have been more talented in some other areas.
Right.
That went 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? They got drafted now.
Yeah.
But that high motor, tough to pass up because they can do the math. They can do the math real quick. And who's leading in rookie of the year voting right now?
Cooper.
High motor. And them other guys have had some great games.
So speaking of rookie of the year, let's get real controversial here, man. I didn't want to jump to it, but it's like you said something, so I gotta take the opportunity, right? I'm a diehard Wizards fan as myself. I'm a diehard Wizards fan, We have a rookie called Trey Johnson, right? I think that's just my opinion. Maybe because I'm biased, I don't know. I think he's the best shooter in the class, right? Some people might say Con Kneppel. So when you look at guys like Con Kneppel and Trey Johnson, who do you think personally that will have a more successful career, if that makes sense? Well, not successful, but more impactful career.
I mean, got it first.
Come on, let me hear it.
Give them both shout outs.
Okay.
Let's start there.
Okay, you're
Let's
right.
Start there. So, they both are very tremendously talented young players. Now, when I talk about the players that I prefer to watch,
okay,
I play with guys with a high level of excitement. Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Stephon Marbury, Grant Hill. I mean, I'm playing with guys got the yik yak, like got a whoop whoop whoop, and then they gonna pull. I mean, so that's not Kneppel. That's not. Let's be clear.
He's more like an IQ player,
He's more under the guise of catch and shoot,
fundamental,
run off screens, catch and shoot, which is great because he's great at it. One dribble, pull ups, pump fake side step, got that all day.
Right.
For me, I give that much respect. Good job. I'm just not really tuned into that.
Right.
I like to see guys that I kind of like emulate the style that I played with a lot, and that's Trey Johnson.
That's all I needed there.
That kid right there. Like when you look at his highlight, you looking at like,
man, especially in Texas, he was a dog. He was a dog.
You like, whoa, what are you
doing? Like, oh, you shooting from that deep? Hold on.
He pulling from the parking lot off the dribble. Ain't no catch and shoot.
He pulling from Bethesda.
From Bethesda, Jack, from Annapolis out this joint. So, I gotta give my boy a shout out because I'm telling you, like, again, hasn't been really too many reasons to watch the Wizards.
Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I
Don't do
mean, just hey, look, you know how the DMV is. We got
You
to
right.
be honest.
You
We
right.
got to
You
be
right. You gotta be
honest and
unfiltered.
truthful to ourselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, me too.
If you want us to watch, you got to play. You got to make the playoffs, which they have not. I'll give them a shout out and say, hey, look, we building. We're in a rebuild mode. Stay in your lane. Don't ask me to lie. I'm not gonna lie. No, I can't watch a rebuild. What I
Oh
will watch
man.
though, what I will watch is when I see a little excitement and when I see some young players that give me some hope. Hope. Cause as a former Bullets fan, we at least were in the dance. And when I was born, we was actually knocking on the door to championships. So I'm sorry, that's in my DNA. This team, hey, look, and when they transitioned from the Bullets to the Wizards, they had Juwan Howard, Chris Webber. They had part of a team that was looking like, man, the team that almost went to the Final Four. So yes, it was excitement in the city. After that, we had Agent Zero.
Gilbert.
Agent Zero kept the excitement. He kept us believing. Took down LeBron James. That's right. So since then, I don't know where we've been.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What about John Wall? What about John Wall? What about John Wall?
Did he get us out the first round of the playoffs? So what about him?
We was fighting. We was fighting with the Celtics. We was fighting with
Hey, you fought, but you lost. So I'm not dissing John, not at all. I respect this game and everything. But the last person that was making them yik yaks, butter threes from the parking lot where we say Annapolis and Bethesda was Agent Zero.
Okay, okay.
Gilbert Arenas.
So by that logic, I got a question for you. I know I got a lot of questions, but look, you were very interested. I'm not gonna lie.
It's your time. This DMV unfiltered. So look,
Yes,
this is
sir.
what we gotta do. We can't just cookie
No,
cutter. I
we
don't
got
know what
you
this
on
is going
YouTube.
platform's gonna go on, but just understand.
On YouTube.
I'm here for two reasons. One, my guy Charles, DMV unfiltered. And number two, there you go. There you go.
Role
Go
player,
get it, man.
role player.
Better go
Oh,
get
y'all gotta go
your
get
guy
that
before
book.
they
Y'all gotta go get
gone.
that book. But nah, like I was saying though, by your logic, do you think? Because mind you, I'm a huge Trey Johnson fan. Do you think Trey Johnson could be a Gilbert Arenas?
He could be that and potentially more. That kid, right? I'm telling you got to see, because remember, Gilbert wasn't doing this his rookie year.
I was young. I can't really speak on that.
Yeah,
I'm just
go just Google it. He wasn't. He'll tell you himself. He wasn't getting the playing time. He had slipped to the second round. He was in a trick bag, really. It wasn't until he really got to the Wizards where he was turned loose. For that, they were just playing the fiddle with him. So no, like John Wall came out. He was tough from Jump Street. He was putting DC on his back. So huge shout out to John Wall because he did it. But
we did.
Trey has the makings of really being that guy. You could just see it, his aura.
Yeah, how could I forget? You're a big man. I forgot about my guy Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr, I'm high on him. I think the Wizards should build around Alex Sarr. Do you agree with that statement, or do you say, nah? What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, he's in a tough spot.
Okay,
And I'll tell you why.
okay, let me hear it.
Wimby. Man, look, brother, look. First round, number one pick. One is up here, the other one isn't. And that's nothing, not to put anybody down, but that's your measuring stick. That's your measuring stick, man. Like, this guy got his team in the playoffs like after year two. What we doing?
don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be
Yeah,
that
you
guy.
don't want to be that guy because you're too nice and you're too invested. That's okay. You're DMV unfiltered. I get it. I'm the unfiltered person on the sideline who played and can legitimize your show.
Okay, okay,
So with
okay,
my
okay, okay.
legitimacy, I'm only being 100% honest. And Sar got some work to do. He got some work to do.
He progressed though. He progressed. Last year he averaged 13 points per game. Now he's averaging 18. Damn near
Yeah,
20.
18, but get some dubs with that. It's not about the points. You gotta learn how to win. You gotta be a winner. We don't play. Hey, look, we put butts in seats because if you're the number one pick, you gotta produce wins.
Okay.
There used to be a book out, Wages of Wins. Look it up. Put it on the screen. Do whatever you got to do. Wages of Wins. And this is where they actually take players, former NBA players, and say, oh, okay, this player's value was here because his stats not only equaled like that of his people in his same category, but he won games. He won games. Guess who's in their book? Guess who's in that book?
You?
It's a good time to put that guy up. See, I'm in the book because of wins. We say led the team in charges, led the league or whatever you said. I don't know.
Led the league.
Yeah, there wasn't even a stat for that back in my day, but guess what? I knew how to win. I knew that would help the team win. So whatever it took to win, that's what I was doing. I also led the team in offensive rebound rating. I also led the league in points per minute played. Like, these are stats that people don't really see because they're looking at, oh man, he only averaged 6-7 points for his career. Yes, but how? How did I average them 6-7 points? That means I was very efficient. I was moving the ball. I was doing what I was told, and I was helping my team win. Just win. Win, and you can, hey, look, then you can be everything we need you to be, and you will be great because you are winning.
So, Jerome, enough about the Wizards, all this and that. Let's talk about you. So, what's the next step for Jerome? So you already you won at a high level. You made it pro. You made it pro. Not too many people say they can make it pro. Especially you. You can literally say that. Look, man, I played for the USA and I played for Toronto. You played for both. You played for both countries, man. You done it all. So I don't. You've done a lot of things in your life. You're starting with your book journey. You're becoming an author. Your financial, all that stuff. What's the next? Oh, not to mention you're a coach. You're coaching your sons. You're doing a lot of things. So, what's the next step?
First thing I do every day is I just pray.
Hey,
and I say thank you.
Thank God.
Thank the Jesus. Lord, man, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. Yeshua, he's up there. He's doing what he does each and every day. So that's where I start. That's what I do on a daily basis. Outside of that, I ask him for guidance, who I can help, who I can uplift, what I can do. That's where I do my Shooting for Peace tour. Huge shout out to Capital One, JP Morgan Chase for, all the stuff they do to help me and support going around the country, all these various cities. Our first city in 2026 will be Los Angeles at All-Star Weekend. That's right, you heard it here first. We're going to be getting down out there near Compton. We're not in Compton, but we're near Compton for All-Star break. We're going to be doing a lot of things with the kids out there and the youth. Also tagged along with NAF and AAU and a lot of our other supporters like Discovery Education. So we're looking forward to a huge event out there. Then we're going to follow that up. We're going to be down in Miami, then Chicago, then Detroit, back to DC and Philadelphia. So be on the lookout for Shooting for Peace Tour, JYD. We're going to be handing out this book. Yeah, that's right.
Role player.
Gonna get a role player. Because that's what we doing. And we're not just talking about being a role player, but actually getting a role out that'll help you in life. So that's going to be huge. And then when I'm coaching, it's all about not only my son, but all the athletes that we coach to try to get them to their destination, getting scholarships, getting opportunities, because education comes first. Athletics is right underneath of that, and then they're, the goals that they're trying to accomplish. So one thing I break down in the book is my 3 M's: the mission, your method, and your measurables. Those 3 things, you can get it done. What's next for JYD? It has to do with just, getting kids and youth and adults to their next opportunity and destination of success.
I like it. That's a great PR response. I like that one. I like that one. I like that. That was a great one. That was a great one. I like that one. I like that one. Well, Jerome Williams. Oh, last question. Like, how could I ever forget? They call you the junk. What they call you, Jerome? What they call you, Jerome?
Come on, man. The dog pounding.
Where you get that name from, man? Where you get that name from? Who called? Like, where that name start from? Let's talk about that. Where that name start from?
And it started with the motor meter.
Okay, motor.
That motor meter was vicious, right? You think of junkyard dogs, they got high motors. They're always guarding the yard. They're running around crazy if you step in the wrong place. And then that's basically how I got the nickname. I was doing what I was supposed to do, and they tagged me with that nickname, just saying I was fierce, I was fearless, and it helped that I could bark and do some things, and next thing you know, with little Georgetown education, marketing and knowing how to brand, we just took it and created products and other things to make the game fun and enjoyable for others. So guess what? My son's nickname is the Dog.
Okay.
Jeremiah Williams' nickname is the Dog. He's at Walter Johnson under Coach Chase Ryder, who is Washington Wizards locker room attendant. That's right. He's the locker room manager for the Wizards. So that's his head coach over at Walter Johnson. They're 8-2, and they got another teammate, Mr. Wiggle, Carter Brooks. Yeah, it's going down in the DMV. Make sure you check them out. I'm on the sidelines helping the team, doing their scouting. So head of scouting. So I'm enjoying the ride and having fun, with my son.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, man. I'm not gonna lie, you living a dream, man. If I had the skills to become a basketball player, I'd do exactly what you want, exactly what you doing, man. Writing books, mentoring kids. You doing
Amen.
it all. You
That's
doing
right.
it all, man. You doing it all, man. So I just want to say thank you for just coming over here. I know you're a busy man. You have a lot of stuff going on, but you took the time out your day to come over here. That speaks a lot of volume and a lot on your character. So I just want to say thank you, man. Just thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me on your show, DMV Unfiltered, with my homeboy, Dog Pound legend Charles. He's getting it done. Y'all better get on his show, because you know what time it is, man. We doing it out here, DMV style. Dog Pound's in the
back.